We're now recording. All right. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our first official presentation slash training where we're going to introduce an amazing new income model. It's so new that it actually hasn't yet released to the public in full yet. We're in what we call a private placement mode where you can go on and get positioned. But I want to share with you this amazing model. And it took me a little while before I really got it. We had the CEO of this particular model come on a couple of weeks ago with our audience. Up to that point, I had not really delved into the income producing side of it. I knew money could be made. But I just thought it was just maybe making a couple extra $100 there. Maybe you can get to $1,000 a month or something like that. And then we found out, no, this could be life-changing income. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And then we're going to pair that with our passion, which is assisting you to get to what we call Digi Millionaire status. So tonight's objective, we've got two major objectives tonight. Number one is to reveal to you a believable path to you potentially generating a few hundreds of dollars per month, even if right now you currently suck at marketing. You know, maybe you're not good at marketing. You've tried it before. It just hadn't worked for you. That's okay. All right. If you never recruited a soul, we're going to show you how you could generate at least, let's say, $150, $200 a month with this model. But then ultimately, we're going to show you how we're going to look to scale that up to maybe even several more hundreds of dollars per month, maybe into the thousands of dollars a month. I'll have to give you a lot of disclaimers, ifs, ands, buts, asterisks, all of my disclaimers, but ultimately even a life-changing income. The second objective that we have tonight is to reveal to you how you can then leverage this newfound income to ultimately become what we call a Digi Millionaire. Now, I want to do just a little bit here to really stretch your vision. Most of us are at least familiar in name with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin space. Now, let me say this. Now, we refer to this entire space as the Digi space. So some people call it cryptocurrencies. We call it the Digi markets or Digi. Digi being short for digital currencies or digital assets, okay? Now, let me say this. In 2017, we saw a large number of systems that came out and they said, hey, give me your Digi assets. All right. Entrust your Digi assets with us. And we're going to pay you 1% a day or 1.5% a day or a certain amount per week or a certain amount per month or what have you. And what we found out is that most of those were complete shams. And unfortunately, far too many of you and me and we on the webinar maybe got shammed there. We're not talking about that kind of stuff. All right. We're talking about you owning and controlling your own Digi portfolio that nobody else has access to but you. Now, let me show you something real quickly. All right. Let me show you something real quickly. And then we're going to get into the income model. All right. So most people are familiar at least with Bitcoin, even though if they don't know a lot about it just yet, they are familiar with at least Bitcoin. Now, we've been in the investment and the marketing arena since 1994. Way back then, we got involved with a company that promoted financial-based products, life insurance products, mutual fund products, variable annuity type products. And they did it through a marketing model. I knew nothing about network marketing at the time. I knew nothing about marketing, period. All I knew is that my parents had gotten laid off and they were in their 50s, and both of them had worked collectively for about 60 years for the same company. My mom was there for 30 years. My dad was there for 29 years, or vice versa, but collectively about 60 years. They were avid savers. And they saved a lot of money over those collective 60 years, but didn't have a lot of money saved. And I couldn't figure that out until one day somebody invited me to a workshop. I didn't know it was a network marketing meeting. And they talked about something called the Rule of 72, and that forever changed my life because I found out why my parents had saved a lot of money but didn't have a lot of money saved. They were saving money, yes, but they weren't getting a good rate of return. And so I felt it was a calling, if you will, to learn as much as I could about the investing world and teach as many people as would be willing to listen. So I went and got my securities license to talk about mutual funds and retirement planning and college fund planning and all those good things in 94. By 99, I started learning about trading in the stock market, and I've traded in the stock market since 99, Forex market since 2003, Nadex and binary options, now the Digi space. And I've never seen what we're seeing here. All right, what are we seeing here? In January 1, 2017, had you had Bitcoin, it was going for $963 a Bitcoin. By the way, in 2010, Bitcoin was going for 0.3 of a penny. Okay. If you had invested $100 in Bitcoin back in 2010 through 2017, through about May of 2017, your $100 would have been worth $75 million. We've never seen anything like this. All right. So Bitcoin was going for 963 and some change on January 1, 2017. Now, there are ebbs and flows in the market. Market goes up, market goes down, market goes up, market goes down. By the end of December 31, 2017, Bitcoin was going for 13 grand. So if you had bought it at 963, held on to it, even though it was going up and down and up and down, by the end of the year, it was at 13,000. You would have made in profit $12,000 on what was less than $1,000 investment per Bitcoin. By the way, you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can buy fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a Bitcoin. That represented 1,268% in return. So for those of you that got involved with any of those models last year, they said, hey, give me your Bitcoin and I'm going to pay you 1% a day or whatever I'm going to pay you. And then those systems left in this like a thief in the middle of the night and took your Bitcoin with it. All right. No more giving our hard-earned assets to a third-party system. You can build your own a Digi portfolio that you want to control and generate far more, potentially, far greater returns than any of those systems could have without the risk of those systems. Doesn't mean there isn't risk in the market, but we'll teach you how to avert much of that risk. Now, what this means is that your Bitcoin, had you invested in Bitcoin January 1 through December 31st, you would have more than 12 times your money. When you look at these returns, do this. Take a imaginary decimal to the right of the last number, and then move that decimal 2 places to the left. And what that tells you is how much your money would have grown by a factor of. So with Bitcoin, your money would have grown by a factor of 12.68%. So if you had $100 invested in Bitcoin, all right, that would have been $1,268 it would have grown by. If you had $1,000 invested in Bitcoin, it would have grown by $12,000. But it's not just Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum went from $8.26 all the way to $721, 8,600. Take that imaginary decimal, move it 2 places to the left. That means that your Ethereum holdings would have grown by a factor of 86 times, far outpacing anything I ever saw in my mutual fund experience or even in the stock market. That $1,000 would have been $86,000. Maybe you didn't have $1,000. You did $100 worth of Ethereum. Well, it would have been worth $8,600. Look at this one. Ripple was 0.6 of a penny January 1, 2017. Most people had never even heard or have never even heard of Ripple. It's not just Bitcoin. There's now about 1,600 of these Digi assets out there. Ripple went to $2.12, 32,000% return. Move that imaginary decimal 2 points to the left. Your money would have grown by a factor of 323 times. $100 would have made over 32,000. $1,000 would have made, look at that, 323,000. It's not just Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin was up 1,268% for the year. Look at what Litecoin was doing. Look at what Monero was doing. Look at what Dash was doing. As a matter of fact, had you had the resources, the wherewithal, the knowledge, the know-how, and the resources to park $1,000 into these 20 assets here, that would have been $20,000 into this space. Look at what would have happened from January 1 to December 31st of 2017. You would have become a Digi Millionaire. Now, no one can say that we're going to have a year like we did in 2017 and 2018. It's interesting if you go back and do some research that from the beginning of 2017 until really through March, the markets didn't really do much. And it was about this time last year that the market started to ramp up. And then in the summertime, the markets went down for several months. And then towards the end of the year, they went ramping back up. We don't know if the market's going to behave like that this year or not. What we do know is we've never seen anything like this before. We've never seen an asset class, this whole Digi space, where here's an asset that was 12 times your money in a year's time. Here's an asset that was 86 times your money in a year's time. Here's an asset that was 323 times your money in a year's time, 49 times your money, so on and so forth. Now, what's the one challenge potentially here? I said, well, if you had $1,000 and parked it into 20 assets, that's $20,000. And obviously not everybody has $20,000 to park. Now, I will say that had you parked $100 into these assets times these 20 assets, $2,000, shave off one number here, that would have been worth $2,000, would have grown to a factor of $129,000, which is phenomenal. Okay. So here's the thing that we have been looking for quite some time is some type of vehicle that is low risk. Okay. There's not a lot of financial risk to our audience. So it's low risk from a financial standpoint, but could help our audience generate, starting off, maybe a few extra hundreds of dollars per month, but something that we could ultimately scale so that you could not only have a portion of that income that goes towards your family budget, so you have a meaningful monthly income, one. Two, so that you actually ultimately have a monthly Digi portfolio budget. The market has come down since these numbers. All right. The market's been in a down swirl since about January 7th of this year. Now, a lot of people are going to get scared because the market is down. Our folks will love it. They'll see it as an opportunity to buy assets on sale because what Bitcoin has shown us, at least past performance has shown us this, doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But past performance has shown us that when the market goes up, it gets on the mountaintop, it gets a peak, all right, and then it goes down into the valley, and it may stay there for a while. That would be the best time to be buying these assets when they're down in price, when they're discounted. And then ultimately, the market goes back up to the mountaintop, but it goes to higher levels. We've seen this time and time again since we've been involved in this Digi space since about 2014. We really began to immerse ourselves last year, but we got dipped our toe in the water in 2014. So what I want to do right now, all right, let's just go back again and give you our objectives, our two objectives. One, reveal to you a believable path where you can generate a few $100s per month, even if right now you're not good, you stink, you suck at marketing, all right? And then ultimately leverage some of this income, this newfound income, to build your own Digi portfolio to get you to Digi Millionaire status. By the way, our target is to get you to Digi Millionaire status in 3 to 5 years. Some of you may get there much quicker. Some of you may take a little bit longer. And we believe you can do that no matter what your financial situation is today. Can we promise that? No, but that is certainly our target. I just showed you how one could have maybe perhaps become a Digi Millionaire in 12 months. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to clear off all distractions. Make sure you're watching this on your best device. I can't really show you what we're going to show you in 15 minutes. Okay, so I want you to take, we're going to take probably about the next 60 minutes or so from now to really lay out our case that you can generate a few extra hundreds of dollars per month, even if you're not good at marketing, and then leverage that to ultimately become a Digi millionaire. Now, here's what we know. Most people simply trying to make a few extra whatever dollars, a few extra hundred, a few extra $1,000 per month in some type of enterprise. Maybe you've tried selling on eBay and Amazon. Crap, maybe that didn't work. Maybe you tried some type of network marketing, MLM. Crap, that didn't work. 2017, maybe you involved yourself in some type of crypto model, some type of Digi model that said, hey, give me your hard-earned assets and I'm going to pay you 1% a day. And maybe it looked good for a while and you were compounding. And then all of a sudden, with little to no notice, they were gone in the middle of the night and they took your Bitcoin with you. Doggone it. What we know is most people trying to make some money online struggle. So it's with that in mind that this model that we're going to talk about this evening was designed. It was designed because so many people have had heartaches, heartbreaks in this marketing space. Now, to help lay a foundation, let's take a look at the Forbes 400 list as of 2017. The other day I was looking at this and Jeff Bezos had just passed Bill Gates. Amazon has come under a little fire. President Trump there has been throwing some tweet arrows to Amazon. So Amazon's prices come down. So I don't know, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, they're going back and forth, you know, in terms of the #1 position. But I want us to pay attention to Mark Zuckerberg right now, okay? Facebook, and I know Facebook right now is under fire. Facebook's going to be just fine. Facebook right now is under fire. And most people consider Facebook to be a place where people gather and they post pictures and social media. The reality is Facebook is an advertising platform disguised as social media. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is not worth $71 billion just because people come in and they post pictures and what have you. It's because they are an advertising behemoth. Take a look at number 9 and 10 on Forbes 400. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, over there at Google. Okay, well, Google is a search engine, right? Google has Gmail, right? Well, Google is an ad platform. Google owns YouTube. Well, YouTube is a video sharing site, right? YouTube is an ad platform. Twitter is an ad platform. Instagram, ad platform, okay? Now, what I wanted to show is that this world of advertising, and these are folks that I would refer to as advertising elites. This world of advertising, it has no shortage of revenue. There's no shortage of revenue, ladies and gentlemen. When you've got a dude worth $71 billion, and this was when he was just 33 years young, you got another dude, Larry Page, 45. I'm older than Larry. I got Larry by a couple of years, but he's got me by about $44.5 billion. Sergey. So look at all of this money, this wealth that these gentlemen, 3 out of the top 10 in the Forbes 400, basically are in the advertising arena, advertising game. Now, here's what we know is happening right before our eyes. You've got on-demand services like Netflix that are changing the ball game. And this article talked about how Netflix killed the TV ad golden goose. For decades, TV advertising has been where the one area where big brands, when they would advertise on TV. But now, because even though we're watching more TV than ever, we're watching less of it live. And as a result, advertisers, big brands, are having to look at other ways to get their messages through other mediums. To the point now, when I first got in this industry in 1994, I came in because I was interested in learning as much as I could about investments. But it happened to be that the company I became a part of was in the network marketing arena. And I remember back then, if you said network marketing, it was like everybody ran from you. It was like taboo. All right. If you to the point that I remember my very dear buddy invited me to a meeting, and the guy was drawing some circles, and he was talking about all these great products, and they never even said the name of the company until the end, and then they said it was Amway, and it was almost like they were afraid to say the name of the company because people would run and run and hide, so on and so forth. Well, it's interesting that now a lot of these big brands are leveraging some type of referral-based marketing. Here is Amazon, all right? The owner of Amazon, the lead dude of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, is either one or two, depending on the day, depending on the stock, what's happening in the stock market, between he and Bill Gates. Remember Amazon in 1995, they were just about books. Now, they compete with Alibaba out of China to be the biggest retailer online. They're kicking the absolute patootie. They're causing a whole bunch of offline retailers to go out of business. But look, Amazon has an affiliate program. That's referral-based marketing. So many of these brands are employing some type of referral-based marketing as a means to get their product, their service, their message, their brand out to more and more and more and more people. Now listen, if it's good enough for Amazon, if it's good enough for a guy who at the end of 2017 was worth over 81 billion. The other day I saw it, he was worth even more, okay? If it's good enough for him, should it be good enough for us? Is there enough money where we can carve out for Joe Average, for Sue Common? Is there enough where we can carve out maybe 150, 200 bucks a month in the advertising game? Is there enough where we can carve out maybe 1,000, 1,600, maybe even a life-changing income? Let's see. Okay, so now the model that we are discussing tonight is a bridge builder, bridging a couple of major industries. Number one, I'm going to call it the super affiliate industry. Okay. Now, I've been in marketing since '94 in some form or fashion, primarily in the network marketing arena. And when I first came online in 2008, 2009, I heard about affiliate marketing, and I thought that affiliate marketing was basically the same thing as network marketing. And boy, nothing could be further from the truth. Back in 2014, I got a chance to start to develop a relationship with a marketing couple, and they were super affiliates. Now, what was very interesting is, by them being a super affiliate, they weren't looking to build teams. They weren't looking to recruit others and or any of that, but they were a part of a couple of super affiliate-based networks. Now, let me tell you what they were doing. They were focused primarily in the weight loss arena. And so they were a part of a couple super affiliate networks where they could go in and there would be these various offers. Now, there were a lot more offers than just weight loss offers, but they chose to focus on the weight loss niche, okay? So they would promote something like this. Now, what is this? Here is a brand that has a weight loss product. And what that brand is looking to do is to acquire new customers, okay? And so what the brand was doing is they were giving away a free sample. Claim your trial bottle today. Now, what would happen is my marketing friends, they would do some advertising to get this page seen. And maybe they did like an article, it looked like a blog post or what have you. People would click on and they would say, yeah, okay, let me put in my information. Let me see if this works. It's a free trial. All I've got to do is pay the shipping and the handling. And if I like it, if you were looking to lose, let's say 30 pounds and you got the product, and let's say in the first month you lost 5 or 6 pounds, all right, well, chances are, if you're saying, wow, this works for me, what are you going to do? You're going to probably order some. And so the company behind this, they know their analytics. They know that for every 100 people, what percentage will reorder, and they know for every 100 people what percentage will order 3 times or 5 times or what have you, be on like a monthly auto ship or what have you. Now, what the brand did, what this couple did, is they had offers where even though the person maybe never reordered, by simply having someone fill out a form and get the free trial, they would earn something like $50 or $60 for that action. That's referred to as a cost per lead or cost per action. And it blew me away. And I was like, huh? Are you serious? Even if the person hadn't bought the product, just because you got a good qualified lead for this brand, they paid you maybe 40 or 50 or 60 bucks, depending on what the offer happens to be. Yeah. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, so what kind of money are you guys making? They were making at their height $120,000 to $125,000 a month in revenue. Now, they did have huge advertising costs. That would do that from profit. So they might make $100,000 one month. The next month, they would reinvest back into their business, $50,000, $60,000 in advertising. I'm talking about, big media buys on big websites and things of that nature. Now, we're not talking about you and I doing all of that. But can we extract, Joe Average, Sue Common, can we extract $150, $200 a month to get started and then begin to scale up? Now, so there are these super affiliate networks. I'm going to go live to a website to just kind of show you this. All right. So here's an example. Here's a super affiliate network. This might be, this is certainly one of the best and biggest out there. It's called ClickBooth. Not the system that we're promoting here tonight. That's the system I just want to help you understand. Now, here's the problem with these type of networks for Joe Average and for Sue Common, is that most folks would never be able to become a super affiliate with these types of models. Let me show you. Let's say that you went to their website, clickbooth.com, and you clicked on Become an Advertiser Partner. All right. Now look at what they're going to require of you. Okay. Required company name. All right. Well, maybe you're just doing business in your name. Required an offer landing page. All right. So now you got to have a website. Probably don't even know what vertical are you interested in. All right, you got to select that. And then they're going to ask you, well, how long have you been running your site? Which other networks do you have? At some point, it may not be on here. I was looking at, what tracking platform do you use? What traffic sources do you accept? On and on and on and on. And so most folks would never even be accepted into a super affiliate network. If you don't already have a website, if you don't already have traffic, if you don't already have some proof, it's almost, you can't, with ClickBooth, if you can't show that you've already been successful in the super affiliate game, guess what? You're never going to be a part of ClickBooth. All right. Now, with that being said, that sucks, doesn't it? Here's this couple making $120,000, netting about 50 grand a month, and that's probably off limits. What I did want to show here is that ClickBooth and many super affiliate networks have various ways that their super affiliates can make money. What I just mentioned, where someone filled out a form, was like either a cost per action or sometimes referred to as a cost per lead. There are other affiliate networks that have a pay-per-call advertising, where you've got some advertisers saying, if you can get somebody to call a number and hear whatever the pitch happens to be. Maybe it's a pitch on mortgage refinancing. Maybe it's a pitch on getting an insurance quote or what have you. Get someone into a call or to a line, so you basically would be advertising a phone number. Person calls in, and if they stay on the line for a certain period of time, even if they don't go through with the insurance quote or do a refinance of the mortgage, as long as they stay on there for a certain period of time, that would generate revenue as well. Problem is, Joe Average, Sue Common typically are not going to qualify to be a part of an ad network like that. Well, this is where this company that I'm introducing you to tonight is changing the ball game. As a matter of fact, one of the features they're going to have that I believe is going to be something that people are going to absolutely love is that same pay-per-call feature. So imagine going into the system and there being an offer that if someone just calls a number and they stay on the line for 30 seconds or a minute or 90 seconds, whatever that advertiser is requiring for a commission payout, imagine you earning money just because of that. In time, you could get good at just posting on Facebook the number, and a few people may call a day, and that will generate revenue for you. That is so cool. And that is what has us excited. For the first time, perhaps, Joe Average, Sue Common will be able to tap into this huge advertising pie. All right, so this particular company, even though we're still very early on, we're in a private placement arrangement now. They haven't even launched fully to the public, but they already have hundreds of major brands that they have signed contracts with, where these brands are looking to have their names promoted about. For instance, lending trading. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. All right. There's going to be all of these various brands. Now, typically in the network marketing space, let's say if you're in a weight loss company, you only have their weight loss products. And if they, let's say if you were interested in travel, they typically don't have a travel division. It's just, the weight loss. So now all of a sudden you're in the weight loss company, you're on auto ship for the weight loss company. By the way, there are no mandatory auto ships with this company, but you're in auto ship with the weight loss company, but you're interested in travel. Well, guess what? You got to go and join another company or do something with another company and travel. With this particular company, all of this is going to be under one roof. All of these various niches, or what the company refers to as research pods, are going to be under one roof. So let's say, for instance, you've been thinking about refinancing anyway. Well, why wouldn't you just go through your own back office and check out the offers that relate to mortgages? And here's Lending Tree. You click on Lending Tree and you decide to get a quote there. Guess what? That could generate some commissions for you. You're going to look at mortgages anyway. You might as well do it through your site. Or maybe you have cable TV and you are a huge NFL football fan and you want to be able to watch your Pittsburgh Steelers, like me, every single game. You never want to miss a game, and so you want DirecTV because you can only get all those NFL games on DirecTV. Well, instead of just going straight to DirecTV, or you happen to be going through the mall and somebody say, hey, you want to sign up for DirecTV? No, go in your own back office. Look at those offers, all right, and take advantage of the offer, and guess what? You're going to get paid for that. And the other cool thing about that is that you'll have these offers that you can actually post to your social media or to in text or what have you, where if someone else is, they're looking to do some type of travel and you have a creative is being the company is going to provide all of these different marketing pieces for you. So you can just post it to social media, post it on your Facebook page. If you don't have a Facebook page, if you don't have anything dealing with social media, we've got a team of folks that will help you get good at that stuff too. Okay. So if somebody clicked on your booking.com and they decided to book something, guess what? You're going to get paid. Somebody wants to lose some weight and you posted something about Nutrisystem. They clicked on your link. Guess what? You're going to get paid. Now, I was talking to the CEO of the company and he was telling me about Vroom. And I was like, well, what is Vroom? And Vroom is where you can actually buy a car online. And I thought to myself, what idiot is going to want to buy a car online? You want to go and you want to test drive that car, right? And then I go to Vroom's site and they'll ship the car straight to you. You're going to save money in most cases because they're direct to consumer. All right. And where was it? I got down here and they said, hey, with Vroom, you got 7-day returns. Huh? What does this mean? Free returns for 7 days. Spend a week or 250 miles getting to know your Vroom, the car that you got from Vroom. Take a trip, park it in your garage, drive it to work. If it's not right, we'll take it back. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Instead of me going to the local dealer and having a 20-minute test drive, you mean I can have a car delivered right to me? I can then have it checked out. I can drive it all around up to 250 miles. If I don't like it, they'll pick it back up. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, wouldn't it be cool if I could go into my own site about a year from now? My wife and I plan on getting another vehicle. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right here in my back office, click on Vroom. I'm going to, study it. Let's say I buy a car from Vroom. All right. That'd be great promotional, by the way. I'll take some pictures and do some YouTubes and all that other good stuff. But I'm going to get paid for that. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to redirect our dollars. People don't like to be sold anything, but everybody wants to buy. And so one of the things that this company is doing is they're bringing all of these brands where people are already familiar. Nobody has to sell people on LendingTree or Booking.com or AT&T and DirecTV, all right? But by our going through and leveraging the offers that we're interested in, you have no mandate that you've got to be on auto ship. You have no mandate that you got to do something with Sandals Resorts or with McAfee or what have you. But it just makes sense. And what if the company paid us for doing that? And what if in time we could even build a network of others that just get that concept right there? And they're doing that and they get paid and you do too. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, let me tell you where I'm going to camp out a lot. So the company refers to what I would call niches as research pods. So for instance, maybe you love pets. Right? You love your dogs, you love your cats. And so there's likely going to be like a pet research pod where when you go into that pod, think of that as a niche, you'll have all of these offers that relate to pet-based things. So maybe there's a vitamin supplement or dog food or what have you, okay? And so maybe you want to get that for yourself or maybe you want to post that to social media or what have you. The cool thing about these pods is that these pods will have their own communities. So they'll be like the pet pod community or the financial pod community or the weight loss community. And inside of that, all of the folks that are interested in that pod, they'll be able to connect like minds there. They'll be able to talk about, hey, has anyone taken advantage of this particular offer over here? Tell me what your results have been. So you'll be able to find out about various products or services that you might be interested in buying yourself, as well as from a promotional standpoint, folks will be able to say, hey, has anyone had any luck or had any fortune with promoting this particular offer on Facebook or what have you? And so you'll be able to find out all that stuff. Now, I'm going to hang out a lot in the financial research pod. I got in this industry. I was a kid. I got in this industry when I was 23. I'm 47 now. So for 24 years, somehow I've been involved in the financial world. As I mentioned, got involved in mutual funds in 94. By 99, was starting to trade in the stock market, Forex market. Love the Digi space, so on and so forth. So the beautiful part is you get to decide what areas you are most interested in. Now, what you're going to want to do if you want to make money, you want to generate a revenue source from this particular new model, is you're going to want to purchase what's called a cloud seed. That outlay is a paltry $199, just under $200 a year. No monthly auto ship, no monthly subscription required. Now, just a few things. What is that going to get you? It's going to get you access to the vault system. This is where you're going to be able to come in and see all of the various offers across all of the various pods / niches. The other thing is going to get you access to that research pod technology. That's where, again, with each pod, they'll have its own community. You'll be able to check out what's going on there, communicate with other folks that are interested in that particular pod. But this, to me, is really huge for our Joe Average and our Sue Common. See, here's the deal. Most of our Joe Averages, most of our Sue Commons, okay, are not content creators. They wouldn't know. They're not copywriters where they would know, okay, well, what should I say in a tweet? Or what should I post on Facebook to maybe grab people's attention? Well, guess what? The company has a marketing team. And one of the things that that marketing team does is when there is an offer that comes that they, ink a deal with, that marketing team is going to go to work to create what I like to call creatives for that particular offer. That offer will be pre-vetted. All right. We'll have the campaign codes so that when you post it on social media or send it out in a text or send it out in an email, hey, check out this offer. You don't even have to have taken advantage of the offer yourself. You know how most network marketing companies, you got to pay to play. Well, your pay to play is, hey, you buy a $199 seat so that you have access to all of this stuff. And so you don't have to create the content. That's so cool, Sue Average. That's so cool. No, Joe Average. That's so cool, Sue Common. There we go. Let's get their names right. All right. Now we're going to start talking about how we're going to make some money. All right. This model is based on generating or building what the company refers to as cubes. Well, what the heck is a cube? Each activity, whether it is a pay-per-call, so let's say you posted something on social media, someone called in on a line, and that was a pay-per-call, and that generated some type of revenue. So each action is going to generate a different amount of revenue. What's going to happen is when an action generates at least $20 that would be paid out to the field force, that would be called a cube. Okay? When an action generates $20, that would be considered a cube. Now, there's going to be some actions that is going to pay out to the field maybe 17 bucks. That's not a full cube. That would be a fraction of a cube. There's going to be some actions, maybe like a room, that may generate a few $100s, a couple $100s for that action. Well, that could be multiple cubes. Okay? So every action will have its own cube relationship. Is it a tenth of a cube? Is it a full cube? So on and so forth. Okay, so a cube is when $20 is paid out to the field. When you generate a cube, whether it's from your own personal actions or whether someone responded to something that maybe you posted to social media. And again, if you don't have social media right now, if you don't have a following, don't worry about that. You're going to get to that point. When $20 is paid out, you're going to earn $10 of that payout. So for every cube you and I generate, you and I are going to make $10, 10 of the 20. Now, the company has not launched to the public yet. So this requirement is not in place yet. In order to participate where you can actually earn when others in your network, the fact is you're going to be able to build a network, not required to, but you're going to be able to build a network so that when others generate cubes, you're going to earn some money there. In order for you to earn from that activity, you'll be responsible for 15 cubes a month, essentially a cube every other day. That requirement is not in place just yet because the content is being loaded up in the background right now. It's not available to us just yet. Now, what does this mean, Joe Average? What does this mean, Sue Common? Whether you ever recruit anybody or not, just doing your minimum will be 150 bucks a month. I want that to sink in. You don't have to recruit anybody to generate 150 bucks a month. What if you did 23 cubes that month? $230. What if you did a cube a day and it was a 30-day month? $300. Okay? You're not required to recruit to generate that revenue. Remember, my marketing friends, they weren't recruiting. They were super affiliates. Okay? And they were generating massive amounts of revenue, over $100,000 a month at their height. Okay? Now, but here's the bridge. What this company is doing is taking that super affiliate type model, allowing people to come off the street with $199 for a cloud seat purchase, no monthly subscription, and now you get to access what heretofore you probably were not going to be able to access through other super affiliate networks. But now here's the bridge. They are linking it with a multi-tiered structure. Now let's cover that for just a moment. The multi-tiered structure is what's referred to as a 3x10 matrix. All right, so let's say you come and you take advantage and you do the $199 annual outlay, no monthly auto ship, no monthly subscription requirement. Okay, and this is you are green. Now, in a 3x10 matrix, you can have 3 others that do the same. The company refers to these folks as brand advocates. A brand advocate is someone that made the $199 cloud seat purchase. Okay, you can have 3 other brand advocates on your first level. Now, a couple ways that these brand advocates could be in your matrix. Number one, it could be from your personal referral. So let's say you are green and you refer red. Now, just follow me here. If you suck at recruiting, just follow me here. If you're not good at recruiting, I promise you, there will be plenty of systems inside of this company, as well as things that we're doing for our audience and anybody that wants to follow what we're doing, that's going to make the whole recruiting game so much easier for you. Okay, so don't worry about that part. Just follow me here. If you refer red, in this example, red fell in your matrix. That's one way a person could be in your matrix from your personal sponsorship. Number 2, if red refers burgundy here, burgundy is also in your matrix. You had nothing to do with burgundy in this example. Okay. The third way, so that's the second way. The third way someone could be in your matrix, though we're never going to over promote this because we don't know who this is going to happen for, is something called spill. Now, don't go out and over promote this. Don't tell people, hey, you come and join me, you're going to get a bunch of spill. We don't know who's going to get spill. We know spill's going to happen. We don't know who's going to get it, so we're never going to over promote it. What is spill? Let's say that you are green and you've got red here and this person here and this person here is brand advocates. So your first level is full. There can be 3 folks, 3 brand advocates on your first level. Okay. There can be 9 brand advocates on your second level. Essentially, these 3 can have their 3 on their first level. Their first level is your second level. And you just multiply times 3. Level 3, 27. Brand advocates could be there. Level 4, 81. Brand advocates could be there. So let's say that you're green and your first level is already full. And now you happen to refer someone else. That someone else that you referred would have to spill underneath these 3 reds here. And if this were your organization, where you've got already your first level is full, your second level is full, your third level is full, and now you referred someone else, guess what? Your someone else would have to spill underneath a turquoise and a burgundy and a red, so it would impact a lot more than just you. Now, the reverse could be true. You have your matrix and someone in your leadership line referred someone, and that someone could maybe, perhaps, don't bank on it, could spill in your organization. So let's assume, for instance, that this person to the far right spilled into your organization. No promises that's going to happen. It's going to happen for somebody. It's going to happen for a lot of people. We just don't know who it's going to happen for. Now, let me tell you why this is such a kick butt idea. Because anyone in your matrix, whether they got there from your personal referral, whether they got there because Red here referred somebody, or whether they got there because of spill, though we're never going to over promote it, it's going to happen for some folks. Just don't sit back and wait for it to happen. No matter how they got there, when any of these brand advocates create a cube, they will earn their cube commissions. All right, so let's say that this person here that spilled in your organization created one cube, $20 was paid out, they got 10. You made $1. And then $1 went up 10 levels. Now, I'm not going to cover qualifications here today, very simple qualifications, but just for time's sake. Well, I'll tell you what, let's hit this real quick. If you just referred one person, that opens you up for 5 levels of pay. To max out the compensation plan, refer 6, and you'll earn from the whole 10 levels. Okay? And so that's the potential of 88,000 brand advocates. Now, it's likely that you're not going to have 88,000. It's likely that you're not going to fill completely a matrix. And I'm going to show you don't have to. You don't have to. Okay? So with that in mind, I need to post this quick income disclosure. Up to this point, we've talked about, you know, maybe an extra 150, extra 200. If you did 30 cubes in a month, you know, an extra $300 a month. Now, I'm going to switch gears and we're going to ramp it up. And we're going to talk about potentially a life-changing income by developing the network side. And I don't care if up to this point you have sucked at marketing or recruiting. Just follow what we're teaching. Follow what we're teaching. Here we go. All right. So ultimately what we want to do is we want to develop a network of brand advocates. Think about this. I've been in this industry for quite some time. And anytime we've been able to leverage a model where people didn't have to recruit, guess what happened? People recruited. It's almost like my little girl, she's 10 now. But when she was 2 or 3, and I call her pretty girl. Pretty girl, don't you go in there. Pretty girl. What did daddy say? Don't you go in there. Don't you go in there. What would happen when daddy turned his back? Pretty girl went in there. Okay. Now, I don't want to be condescending. I'm not your daddy or what have you. All right. You're all big boys and big girls. But what I have found in my 20 plus years in this industry is that when we were able to find a model that a person didn't have to recruit, hey, John, don't you recruit? Mary, don't you recruit? Vernetta, don't you recruit? Guess what Vernetta did? She recruited. Why? Because if she started making money without recruiting, she simply started sharing with people, hey, I made money and I didn't have to recruit anybody. And then a whole bunch of other non-recruiters said, well, shoot, if you can make some money, if you can make $150, $200, $300 a month without recruiting, well, shoot, I want in. And guess what happens? People start building a network. Now, big money. Let's talk about some big money, okay? So the first thing I want you to get is anyone in your matrix, no matter how they got there, no matter how they got there, no matter how they got there, anyone in your matrix, when they generate a cube, they're going to make their $10, but $1 is going to travel up 10 levels. So let's say Red generates a cube, Red generated $10, you made $1. Burgundy here did a cube, Burgundy got his or her $10, Red got $1, you got $1. Let's assume everybody's qualified. Okay. Turquoise here generated 23 cubes for the month. Turquoise got $230. Burgundy earned $23 from Turquoise generating 23 cubes for the month. Red earned $23 because Turquoise generated 23 cubes for the month. You earned $23 because Turquoise generated 23 cubes for the month. Okay? Now, here's my goal for anybody that follows us. You don't even have to be in our matrix. If you find value in the way we present, the way we train, all that good stuff, and you decide you want to follow us, even if you're in somebody else's matrix, okay? My goal is to get you ultimately to where you've qualified for the Q1 bonus. What is that? When your matrix, doesn't matter how folks got there in the matrix, generates 500 cubes per month, you're going to start earning a monthly bonus check. Now, first off, if your matrix did 500 cubes a month, we know that you generated at least $500. Now, let's go back. In order to override that, you'll need to do your 15 cubes. So we know that you've generated $150 a month by doing a minimum of 15 cubes. 15 times the $10. Now, if you did 23 cubes, you made $230 on. If you did 72 cubes, you made $720. Let's keep it right now at the 15 cubes. So $150 so far. Now, your organization, your matrix did 500 cubes. And let's say you're now doing that consistently on a monthly basis. We know you're making $1 per cube. 500 cubes, you just made $500. 732 cubes, you just made $732. But let me tell you what happens. Now you get a monthly bonus check. And if you're doing at least 500 cubes a month, that becomes residual. For anyone that follows us, our game plan is to ultimately get you there. Why? Because about the bonus check here, roughly, give or take, is going to be about $1,000 a month. Wait a minute. You're doing your minimum, about $150 minimum. Your matrix is doing 500. There's an extra $1 per those 500. So you're at $650. Now, if you add in another $1,000, you're at $1,650 in our example. Okay? Now, what does that mean? All right. This is what blew me away when I started to understand this compensation model. All right. So to get to 500 cubes in your matrix a month, now keep this in mind. Our biggest organization that we've ever built, our organization grew to over 250,000 members. 250,000. Okay. All right. Here we go. 500 cubes, divide that by a minimum of 15 cubes. So we want to build a culture that everybody who's coming aboard, listen, if you're not going to be committed to doing 15 cubes a month, don't pay $199. That's just going to frustrate you. Follow the person that got you to tonight's webinar and take advantage of some of the offers that they might present to you once those offers are available. If you do the $199, what you're saying is, I'm going to do 15 cubes. And this is not going to be a full-time job. This is going to be very, 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 very part-time. And it has to be because most people are going to be part-time to start. Folks, we're talking 33, let's call it 34 folks in your matrix, no matter how they got there, that are doing their minimum cube qualifications. That, ladies and gentlemen, would get you about $1,650 a month, with that cube bonus spending about $1,000 of that. Now, let me show you how we're going to now scale to potentially a life-changing income. Let's say this is you and you generated $1,650. Now, what I'm about to share can't make you do it. You're big boys, you're big girls, you're grown. All right. So I'm just sharing what I will be doing and sharing what I would strongly recommend anyone that finds value in our teaching and training should consider doing. So $1,650 in this example. Let's say you take half of that and you apply that half to your family's budget. So you made $1,650. Take half of that and apply that to your family's budget and do whatever you want to. Hopefully you do some constructive things. Maybe you're getting out of debt. You're going on an extra date with your spouse, planning a vacation, doing something constructive with that. Okay. You earned $1,650 in that example. You took half. The other half, let's consider, this is what I'll be doing, slicing that into two parts. So I'm going to take 25 and divide it by 2. And with one half of that, $412.50 in this example, I would strongly recommend you use that for your Digi portfolio. Right now, Bitcoin is down. it's gotten as high as $20,000. Man, it's gone all the way down to about, right now it's about 7,400. Well, you don't run away from Bitcoin when it's down. This is the time you want to buy some more. So now you have, in this example, potentially, maybe perhaps, a budget. You got a $400 a month budget. So maybe you're getting a little Ethereum, maybe you're getting a little Bitcoin, maybe you're getting a little Litecoin. All of those are down, well down off of their lows. And then with the other half, the other $412.50 in this example, how about we apply that to some type of marketing budget where we're driving traffic? Maybe there is a phenomenal offer inside of NetQube that, man, it pays a bunch of cubes and it is converting like hotcakes. Maybe you're paying for traffic to get to that specific offer. Or maybe you're paying for traffic to get people into NetQube or to get people into Digi Millionaires. Digi Millionaires is the training system that we've developed that we're having integrated into NetQube. Okay? So now, let's assume you did that. That's going to help ultimately, all of my ands, if, buts, perhaps, disclaimers, that's going to help you ultimately potentially get to Q2. Well, Q2 means you've got 3,000 cubes per month. What do we know? We know that if you've got 3,000 cubes per month in your matrix, you're earning at least $3,000 a month, $1 per cube. Also, you would still now be getting your Q1 bonus check of about $1,000. So now you're at about $4,000. Add your at least $150 to it because you're doing your 15 cubes. So you're, tad over $4,000 a month. But the bonus check at Q2 is going to be roughly about $5,000. So now when you do the numbers, when you are at the Q2 bonus level, you're at about $9,000 or so a month. Well, wait a minute. What does that take for 3,000 cubes? Well, if everybody's doing a minimum of 15 cubes, at least the ones that are following what we're teaching, it only takes a couple hundred folks. I had a couple 100,000. And what if you're not the big business builder, but you referred Red and Red sees it and takes off with it? Or this one person over here, Can't Promise This, came as a result of Spill and this person took off with it. Guess what? You still earn cubes. What I love about this model is whether you personally refer to the person or not, the fact that they're in your matrix means that you could benefit as they are developing their cubes. Got to hurry up. All right. So now in that example, look at this. So let's say you generate about $9,000 a month and you did the same thing. You said, I'm going to take half of that. That's going to my family's budget. Now, and you're not going to feel guilty now when you add that to your budget and you go and you upgrade your lifestyle a little bit. You're not going to feel guilty. That's all part. That's what we're here for, right? But then you got another 4,500 that you sliced in half if you follow what we teach. And now you've got a monthly Digi budget of $2,250. Well, what if you had the resources to park $1,000 into these assets in 12 months? You could have seen your Digi value at $1.3 million. Well, maybe you don't have 20 grand right now, but can we scale that ultimately? So the couple that started generating that type of revenue, they didn't start at $100,000 a month. They scaled. And now look at this. What if you took the other $2,250 in this example and you apply that towards a marketing budget? You got more traffic now. Probably getting more people into the model so that they can have more people in your model that generates more cubes and you earn more money, so on and so forth. Got to hurry up. Q3, you're making 10 grand a month there. Your bonus here is going to be about another 10,000 a month. So let's just look at the potential bonus pay. About 10 grand a month with the Q3 bonus, about 5 grand a month with the Q2 bonus, 15,000. About $1,000 a month with the Q1 bonus, about 16,000. These are all working in concert with each other. So what was that? 10, 5, 16,000, making 10 grand here, 26,000. Oh, and your qualifier, you know, you're making about $150, making $26,000 or so at Q3. What got us to Q3? What got us to Q3 was when we started generating revenue, we didn't go spend it all. We took a portion and we put it in our pocket. Hopefully you took a portion and you started building your Digi asset or maybe some other type of investment vehicle or a combination. And then you took a portion and you did marketing. Let's get you to Q4. Let me tell you, get to Q4, you're talking 7 figures. Why? $1 times these 50,000, that's 50 grand a month right there. The Q4 bonus is going to be roughly about 20 grand a month. On top of the Q3 bonus, about 10 grand a month. There's 30,000 in bonus money there. On top of the $5,000 a month, thereabout in Q2, that's 35. On top of about the $1,000 a month in Q1, that's 36,000. Add that to 50,000. If you were generating $86,000 a month, that's a 7-figure income, ladies and gentlemen. And is the money there? You got one dude, Mark Zuckerberg, in all sorts of hot water right now, and he's still worth tens of billions of dollars. Because of what? Advertising. Now, just about finish it. A couple weeks ago, we had the CEO of the company on, and he's the one that walked us through, because I had not really comprehended the type of income that's available through this model without, get this, without anyone being on a mandatory auto ship. Think about that. My gosh. And so he talked about, hey, when you get to Q6, you're going to get a $100,000 bonus, and we're going to buy you, not give you a stipend per month, like many of the other companies that have a car bonus where you get a certain amount per month. And then if you fall below that, then you might lose the car. No, they said, we're going to buy you a brand new Tesla. And I remember the questions box and people were fired up about the brand new Tesla. You know what I was fired up about? For me to get there, cumulatively now, we would have generated in our matrix on 1.7 million cubes. What does that mean? $1 per cube. Woo! I'll take the Tesla. I'll take the $100,000 bonus. But what I really want is that right there. Want a 500K bonus? Cool. What I really want is the fact that you would have generated $5 million. You want the $1 million one-time bonus? Cool. But what I really want you to get is the $10 million that you made on the way. All right. So, one thing I want to say is that this particular model is still very early. They've not yet started loading the content for the cubes. What you and I want to do now is we want to take advantage of the private placement where you can go on and get started with the $199. You're not going to have the requirements yet to get your cubes, but what you're doing is you're positioning yourself in the matrix, all right? Because the numbers haven't come yet, but they will. And once this word starts getting out, right now, I will tell you that I haven't even begun to approach a lot of leaders in the industry just yet. We're getting some marketing things in place to do that. When some leaders get this and understand, wait a minute, my Joe and Susie average, my Joe and Susie common, their financial risk is limited to $199 a year. They don't have to be on auto ship. And we can generate this type of revenue because someone on my 5th level did 23 cubes. I earned $23 for the month. And then if that helped me get to these bonus levels, the types of money. Let me show one last thing here on this. All right, let me show you just how powerful this is. Let's go back. Let's go back to the Q1 bonus where you earned about $1,650 and you only needed about 34 folks in your organization to do so. That means if you hit the Q1 bonus, okay, that for every person that was qualified in your matrix, in this case it was only 34, you were earning roughly $48 per qualified person in your matrix. Now, I've been in this industry for a long time. I've been with more companies than I can name, where a person was on an auto ship, let's say with a weight loss product or wellness product, $100 auto ship. If I referred them, I made 20 bucks every time they did their auto ship. But if somebody was on my 5th level, I maybe made 2 or 3. This right here, once folks get this, particularly big leaders, they're going to come. Well, don't you want to be already positioned in the matrix? You might be the one that brings on one of those big leaders, or maybe one of those big leaders spills. We're never going to over promote it into your organization. Okay. Now, let's start with one last thing here. I mentioned that I'm going to rest primarily in the financial research part. And I'm sure that once all this opens up, there'll be other things that will grab my interest. But I've known the CEO for years. We've had a phenomenal working relationship for years. And one of the things that the company has asked me to do, which I gladly accepted, was to help oversee new offers that may come into the financial research pod. Not necessarily every offer, but things that relate to the cryptocurrency space, the Digi space, maybe some things that relate to the trading space. For instance, there's going to be a follow me futures trading system where there's a team of futures traders. They trade in the futures. They have done immensely well. You won't have to send them your money. All right. You'll have your own account, but you'll be able to follow what they're doing. Where they'll place trades right there on the screen. You'll be able to place those same trades. That'll be another way to generate revenue from an investment standpoint, so that inside of the financial research pod in time, you're going to be able to diversify your investments. Okay. All right. We are bringing to this particular model a system that we've developed that we call Digi Millionaires. We are in the process of getting that integrated. I want to take just a few moments to talk to you about Digi Millionaires. The beautiful part is that a person will be able to align with NetQube for the marketing model to generate money. A person will be able to get Digi Millionaires. Now, there will be a monthly subscription tied to Digi Millionaires, not required, but if you want to be a Digi Millionaires, you'll have that subscription. And then there's going to be some people that never want to join NetQube, but they'll hear about Digi Millionaires and they'll want to get Digi Millionaires. Well, when they get that from you because you're in NetQube, once everything is integrated, that will help you generate cubes. Okay. And then there's going to be some folks who become a NetQube and they become Digi Millionaires. Let me share one very potent thing that we are teaching our audience in Digi Millionaires. Okay. Because the reality is the market isn't going to always go up. So we talked on the onset that, hey, had you had $1,000 and you put $1,000 in Bitcoin January 1, 2017 and just held on to it through the end of the year and put $1,000 in Ethereum and Ripple and Litecoin and Monero, so on and so forth, you would be already a Digi Millionaire right now. But the market's not going to always go up. It's going to go down. And most people certainly most people who are not a part of Digi Millionaires, they're going to be frantic when that happens. If you bought Bitcoin at 20,000 and it's now at 7,000, 7,400, you're not too excited. But our folks are going to be able to profit handsomely even when the markets go down. All right. Let me give you just this one concept from a Digi Millionaire angle. You get this one concept, you'll know enough about Digi Millionaires to make a prudent choice to become a Digi Millionaire. All right, so what you're looking at is a chart. Don't worry about this because you're never going to have to learn how to read this stuff, okay? I'll do a lot of training just so you'll understand why we're making calls that we're making. A call saying that we think Bitcoin's going up or we think Bitcoin's going down, and then giving our audience some things to consider to do in light of those calls that we're making. So here was Bitcoin when it was about $20,000, right? And here was Bitcoin when it came all the way down to 6, all right? And each of these candles represents one trading day. The blue one is up, the red one is down. Don't worry about all that stuff. This is the concept I want you to get. All right, so what we started doing when we really immersed ourselves and started applying a lot of other tools and resources that we've used in trading in the past, is we started to identify when we felt like the market was going to go down or when we felt like the market was going to go up. So right here would have been a point that we identified that we thought the market for the foreseeable future was going to go down. Now we're going to teach you a concept that when we make this sales call, you're going to want to consider taking some of your Bitcoin assets and moving it over to the sidelines. We're not going to do panic selling because the market's going down, but we are going to want to safeguard our Digi value. So maybe in this example, this would have been a signal to, hey, sell some of your Bitcoin at this $11,000 price because we think it's going down. And sure enough, in a matter of just 8 days, Bitcoin went from 11,300 down to about 6,000. Now, if you had held on to all of your Bitcoin, you would be down 47%. Had you moved some of your Bitcoin over to the sidelines, you would have averted this 47% decline in your Bitcoin. You would have been sitting in cash waiting for a new buy signal. Okay? Nobody else is really teaching this stuff. You'll get this in Digi Millionaires. Okay? Now, so what happens is, let's say that you had Bitcoin, you had one Bitcoin, you moved it over to cash, the market came down, you weren't having the queasies because your value wasn't going down. Then we had a buy signal right about here when Bitcoin was going for 8,800. All right, so the call would have been, hey, time to get off the sidelines. And guess what would have happened? You would have taken your $11,300 in this example. You would have bought back into Bitcoin when it was at 8,800. But because you bought back at a lower price, you now would have had a 1.284 Bitcoins versus just one. See, everybody in, I won't say everybody, people that talk about the markets say buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. Well, what about sell high and then come back and buy low? Who's teaching that one? Digi Millionaires. So in this example, without adding new money to your Digi portfolio, by simply taking advantage of a sales call and then a buy call, you would have increased, in this example, your Digi, your Bitcoin holdings by a whopping 28.4% without adding new money. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of Digi Millionaires. Whether a person is in NetQube or not, that's the power of Digi Millionaires. However, once we fully integrate Digi Millionaires inside of NetQube, the only way somebody's going to be able to get to Digi Millionaires is through NetQube. And you that align with us, if you like this messaging, you will have plenty of content to be able to share the NetQube Digi Millionaire NetQube message. That's what we're creating right now. Now, one of the things we do in Digi Millionaires, and I'll be wrapping up in just a few moments, is we have a live weekly Digi Lab. And a few weeks ago, February 22nd, in that Digi Lab, we called our next sales call. We said, hey, looks like the market is heading down. And we gave our folks instructions based on what we were doing. Of course, your big boys, big girls. And we not only made a call on Bitcoin, we made a call on Ethereum, a Litecoin, and an asset called Dash. All right. So this was this right here. This was February 22nd. We made that call there. Market went up a little bit, but then it came crashing down. All right. And I think I pulled this chart just the other day. Market came crashing down. Now, when we issued that call, Bitcoin was going for about 10,200. So let's say that you had taken advantage of this call here and sold a Bitcoin for 11,000 and some change, bought back in here at 8,800. Now you got 1.284 Bitcoins. Then you sold Bitcoin here. That would have put $13,000 on the sidelines. Now, we have not yet gotten a new buy call. I will tell you, there were some major developments that happened overnight that could be leading us to a buy call in the next few days. Don't know just yet, but there's a major development. There was a major development that happened overnight. We did a video on it today. We'll probably do an update tomorrow or at least Thursday because we could, maybe perhaps, don't know, have a new buy call soon. Let's assume we get a new buy call at some point. And let's assume, all right, by the way, so those who simply held onto Bitcoin during that time and didn't take advantage of our buy call, they saw the market go from 10,200 to a low of $6,418. You could have averted that downdraft, or at least a portion of that. All right, so now, again, we've not got a new buy call yet. We could be, maybe, perhaps, don't know, setting up for a new buy call soon. If the markets continue to go up, great development yesterday and last night and today. If they continue to go up, we may get a buy call in a few days. Don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll keep you updated, okay? Let's say we get a new call, and let's say that that call comes in at roughly 8,800. Could be more, could be less. But you had $13,000 in this example, and you bought back in at 8,800. What you would have done is you would have increased your overall Bitcoin holdings by roughly 50%. Instead of having one Bitcoin at and going just through the markets going up and down and up and down and up and down. Your Bitcoin value goes up today and it's down tomorrow and goes up today and it's down tomorrow. By doing this, you would have averted a lot of the downdraft, and you would have increased your Bitcoin holdings by 50% without adding any new money to the market. Now, as I start to round third, why is that so important? Because back in 2014, when I first got into Bitcoin, there was a gentleman by the name of Timothy Draper who was calling that Bitcoin in 3 years would be $10,000 a coin. Didn't look like it. I bought Bitcoin when it was $515 a coin, and for the next years and change, it went down. It went all the way down to under 200 bucks. Tim looked like he had gotten his stuff wrong. Last year, Bitcoin didn't hit 10,000. It hit as high as 20,000. He was right. Some pundits are saying by 2020, Bitcoin will be valued at $250,000 a Bitcoin. What if you had just done this, grew your Bitcoin balance by 50% without adding new funds, and instead of having one Bitcoin when Bitcoin's valued at $250,000, you got 1.5? That's an extra $125,000 worth of value. Many pundits are saying by 2025, Bitcoin could be $1 million a coin. What if? Instead of having one Bitcoin, you've got 1.5 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going for $1 million by 2025, and whenever it may happen, if it happens, you would have more than $500,000 worth of additional Digi value. Who else is teaching this? Nobody but Digi Millionaires. And very soon, Digi Millionaires will be exclusively through the NetQube model. Here's what you're going to get with Digi Millionaires. Best Digi training the industry has to offer. There's a reason a company paid me $15,000 a month at my height to do training, because this is what I love. There's only two, maybe other things that I'm better at. That's my golden silky vocals. I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. My golden silky vocals, and the fact that I'm a lyrical miracle, though I didn't show that off tonight. I'm a hip-hop mogul. And then number 3, love training. You're not going to find anywhere better training than what we're going to provide for you. Our live Digi Labs is going to assist you in building your own Digi portfolio. Digi Alerts to let you know the moves we are making, so that when we buy an asset at a certain price, we're going to tell you. When we sell an asset at a certain price, we're going to tell you. We're going to tell you our buy and sell zones even before we have sold it. The buy and sell signals that I talked about, by the way, we did a sell signal on Ethereum. Ethereum was going for $834. We've seen Ethereum come down to 300 bucks. That would have saved you $500 in value if you had some Ethereum, and did the same thing that we teach with Bitcoin. And now through our marketing partner that we've been talking about tonight, you're going to also learn about other credible offers in the Digi space and in the financial space as they come about. All right, so here's what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need to get back to the person that referred you. Number 1, I want you to join them in NetQube. So the person that referred you should already be in NetQube. They're going to send you a referral link. Keep in mind that with NetQube right now, we're in the very, very, very early stages. Nobody's really, there's a couple of things in the back office that can generate cubes. But in terms of our cube activity, that really hasn't begun yet. In the next few weeks, we'll start to see offers coming out. The company is not going to require the 15 cubes right away. Okay, obviously that's not the content there. In time, you're going to see more and more and more and more and more cube content that will be coming aboard. So you're going to want to join them in NetQube. Number 1. Number 2, right now, Digi Millionaires is available outside of the NetQube model, but only until we integrate. And so ask them for their Digi Millionaires link as well. So you can go on and join us in Digi Millionaires. Now, if you join us in Digi Millionaires now, not through NetQube, that's not going to generate any cubes for you or what have you. But that'll at least get you into our system now. And I will tell you that whether you join in Digi Millionaires now, whether you do it after we fully integrate it with NetQube, by being a part of Digi Millionaires. By the way, for our existing Digi Millionaires, we're going to do a facelift. We're going to have a brand new website once the integration is done. When you're a part of Digi Millionaires, one of the things that we're going to do is we are right now developing a full marketing series of impactful content that talks about NetQube, but also talks about Digi Millionaires, talks about other things in the financial markets, so that you're going to be able to post this content to social media or in emails or text it out or what have you. The type of training, just imagine having a training piece that covers what I just covered here. How a person, when the market is getting slammed, could increase their overall Digi balances as the markets get slammed by taking advantage of those sales calls. And so that in time, if Bitcoin gets to $250,000, if in time Bitcoin gets to $500,000, $1 million, you've got 50%, 75%. And this was just 2 sell calls, by the way. That additional 50% worth of Bitcoin only happened with 2 sales calls. What happens if between now and 2025, as an example, there's been 50 of these sales calls, and now all of a sudden you've got 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times the amount of Bitcoin that you would have had, and Bitcoin's at $1 million. So we're in the middle right now of creating content like you've never seen before, like you will likely not see in this space, because our third best skill is teaching. What's the first best skill? As long as old men sit and talk about the weather, as long as old women sit and talk about old men. My gosh, those golden silky vocals. If you have questions, Queen, let's take 15 minutes of Q&A. We're finished. Get back to the person that invited you. Get their NetQube link. Join them. $199. If they have a Digi Millionaires link, join them. All right. And then ultimately in time, you'll only be able to access Digi Millionaires through NetQube. Queen, how about you unmute the lines? No, I'm sorry. Not unmute the lines. You unmute your line. If you have questions, we're going to take 15 minutes of Q&A. And we'll address as many questions. Let's keep these questions limited to the scope of what we've talked about here tonight: NetQube, Digi Millionaires, so on and so forth. Let's keep it to that. And go on and put your questions in. Also, we are going to do a YouTube giveaway at the end of the Q&A time. There was a video that we posted today. There was a video that we posted today talking about the fact that the market was setting up for maybe a buy signal coming forward. And for people that made comments on that particular video that happen to be in Digi Millionaires and they are in NetQube, we have a person, we actually have 2 people to place in our matrix. So that means, and our first level is full, our second level is full, our third level is full. That means that when we do the placement here tonight, that's going to impact a number of people. Okay. All right. So, Queen, are you here for Q&A? Queen, I can't hear you. Queen, I can't hear you. All right. Give me a moment.
All right. I'm here.
There you go. Okay.
Wow, you just nailed it. That's what Roy said.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Huh?
I appreciate that. Thank you. By the way, we are recording this. We have recorded this, and we will release this. And unless I get something from corporate saying that there's something that's not compliant, we are going to release this one. Those of you that have a YouTube channel, unless, again, we hear something different from corporate, you'll be able to load it up. Danielle, I know you load up a lot of content. Jim Rosen, I know you load up a lot of content. You'll be able to load this on to your YouTube channel. And we're also going to make this available even before we've got all of our other marketing so that you can have a page that you can send out to folks that doesn't have anybody's link to it. So they'll have to come back to you in time. This is the type of content you'll also be able to leverage for your marketing. Okay. All right, Queen, I'm ready for any questions that you see.
Okay, if we are in CRB, do we need the pocket funnel?
I strongly recommend anyone, whether they're part of Digi Millionaires or not, to consider the pocket funnel. Now, real quickly, so what the pocket funnel is a it's a system that, give me a moment, that Joel here, who is the Chief Marketing Officer, has brought to NetQube. It is a dynamic marketing tool. And just a quick highlight, one of the things it's going to allow you to do is to build a text message marketing list. I've been looking for a mobile marketing system for a while. For a while, we thought we had one, but the owners made some bad decisions and what have you. But with this particular model, you'll be able to advertise a number. Someone calls that number or someone texts that number. They get into your mobile marketing list. And so now, if you want to communicate with them via text messaging about an offer, whether it's NetQube, whether it's Digi Millionaires, whether it's some other offer, you're going to be able to easily do that. But let me tell you the big thing is that Joel and his team of Facebook experts, if you are a pocket funnel user, that's all optional. It's $30 a month. If you want to utilize that tool, I strongly recommend it. Or you can even pay for it annually. It's like $285. It does help you generate some Cube activity. One of the big things they're going to do is they are going to have weekly marketing training webinars. Example, 2014, I wanted to take my business to the next level, and I wanted to start learning about marketing on Facebook. I invested over $10,000 in the calendar year of 2014 just in Facebook marketing courses. Now, obviously, a lot of things I learned back then are maybe obsolete now because Facebook has changed so much. For the $30 a month, not a requirement, if you got Pocket Funnel, then you're going to be able to go to their live marketing webinars, ask questions. They're going to show you what they're doing with their campaigns and even NetQube specific campaigns and some examples. And if you can't make it, you'll be able to watch their recordings. So those of you that have little to no Facebook following or social media following, or you have a following but you don't know how to monetize that following, for $30 a month, you're going to get this amazing tool and you're going to get phenomenal training. I'm going to be there as a student learning, applying, because although we've done very well in marketing, there's a lot of things that we don't know. Social media has not been our, where we have flourished other than, YouTube videos and things of that nature. I strongly recommend you consider Pocket Funnel. Next question.
Okay, will the recording be available in our back office for tonight?
Yeah, we're going to make this. We'll probably have it out sometime tomorrow afternoon. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to load it up to YouTube. Now, if they tell us we got to take it off, we'll take it off. But I don't think that we did anything that would be a compliance issue. We're going to send it out via email. We're going to load it in your Digi back office, and we're going to create a training page right now that you can use, where you can send someone the page. It won't have anybody's links in there, so they'll have to come back to you to join NetQube. And then we'll also take this, or at least a version of this, and we will create a page or pages inside of Digi Millionaires that you'll be able to use that will embed your NetQube link, that will embed your Digi Millionaires link. Now, that last part is going to take a little bit extra, but probably sometime tomorrow afternoon. I would think at the latest on Thursday, you'll have it in your back office, and you'll have those other pieces that I talked about, at least a page without your links embedded, but nobody else's link is there. So the person that sees it has to come back to you to join you in NetQube and in Digi Millionaires. Next question.
What countries is NetQube available in?
The only country, the better question is what countries are they not available in? And those would be those normal countries that companies don't do business with. Iran, North Korea, you know, a few of those. Now, some of these offers are not necessarily going to be available everywhere, but some will. Like Digi Millionaires is going to be available, you know, no matter where you happen to be, other than those countries that might be kind of blacklisted, if you will. There's going to be plenty of offers that are going to be available to everyone, and certainly there'll be enough offers so that you can get your Cube activity. The company knows that they have to do that for the part-timers and for the international audience. Also, their pay system is going to be available in most countries where people are going to embrace NetQube. There's going to be, I think, like 20 some odd countries where you can actually have your commissions from NetQube automatically going into your bank account. You'll be able to have a NetQube debit card. And I believe they're going to make a big to-do about paying also in Digi assets. I think, Queen, you're going to be able to choose to get paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or what have you, which will make that, you know, where anybody internationally that, you know, knows how to use Digi currencies will be able to get paid. All right. So it's likely that wherever you are, you'll be able to leverage NetQube. Next question.
Okay. NetQube, we're at the beginning, and so there's some people who signed up for free, and you know, they haven't paid yet, and they received an email basically letting them know that in 3 days, you know, you'll be dropped from the from the system. If they have someone if they're under someone, will they lose their sponsor?
Well, if you don't, all right. So here's the thing. Some people came aboard. They didn't do the 199. If you haven't done the 199, you are not in the matrix. Okay.
You're not a brand advocate.
You're not a brand advocate. All right. Which means only brand advocates are in the matrix. Now, let's say that you are John, didn't do the 199. You brought on Susan. She did the 199. Okay. Up to this point, she is still connected to you. However, to maintain that sponsor relationship where you are considered her a sponsor, you have to become a brand advocate. So whatever you got to do to come up with the 199, come up with the 199. And even though she became a brand advocate before you, she's still going to be connected to you. However, if you don't go on and become a brand advocate, and I didn't see that post, but you said it's in 3 days, Queen?
It started Monday at 7 o'clock, 72 hours.
Okay, so you don't have much longer. If you referred Susan, you were not a brand advocate, she is a brand advocate, and you don't become a brand advocate by the deadline, then what that's going to mean is you're going to essentially forfeit you know, Susan. I think what's going to wind up happening is you're going to wind up being in Susan's organization instead of her being in yours. So do what you must to do the 199 annually. All right, do what you must to do the 199 annually. If whether you sponsor anyone,
benefits. If you refer one person, there's some serious benefits in the matrix for that, for having done that. So.
Yeah, and you know what? And I didn't even cover what happens when you refer someone and you get paid as they purchase their cloud state. I didn't even cover that. I covered the bigger money, but I didn't even cover that. And that, yeah.
No, there are a lot of ways to earn. That's
right.
What you need to know.
Right. Okay. Next question.
Do we have a team Facebook page?
Not yet. No. Now, NetQube does, all right, but we don't have one for our team just yet. We're going to put something together, I'm sure. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm in the lab working on content. So let me crank out enough content where those who are following us have something. So right now, NetQube doesn't really have a lot of promotional content. You know, you can go on YouTube, for instance. Most of the promotional content you're going to see on YouTube is something that you know we've generated or some of our folks are posting on YouTube. So right now we're in the content creation mode so that we at least have some good content that folks can use. Then we'll start doing that kind of stuff. Okay.
Is the subscription for NetQube strictly annual?
Yes, strictly annual.
Will Pocket Funnel users eventually be able to send material to Instagram? I don't think it's eventual. I think you can send material to Instagram right now if you want to.
I'll let you answer that because I don't even have an Instagram account. I've never done anything with Instagram, so I'm not sure. Great question. By the way, remember the Pocket Funnel folks will have live webinars each week. So, feel free to avail yourself to those webinars as well.
Basically, Pocket Funnel, the information you can use in any of your promotions.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're welcome, Gail. How is the advertising co-op going for CRB? How is the co-op going to work for CRB?
Well, okay. So some of you who have been with us for some time, we have an advertising co-op where some people put money in a pot so that we could go out and we could do some marketing. And we haven't started that marketing yet because obviously we had a couple of offers that we had to make some modifications with. So here's what we're doing right now. Our focus right now is the content creation so that we have ample content, not only from an initial standpoint, but from a follow-up standpoint. Whether we're talking about in emails, whether we're talking about in text, Pocket Funnel is going to be where we'll do some text message marketing and what have you. All right. Once we have enough of that content in place, number one, and once NetQube is further along, I wouldn't want to launch a full-scale advertising campaign right now because we don't have the NetQube is not far enough along in terms of content. You know, Queen, what I'm going to want to see is we've got content. We are able to generate cubes. How quickly are we able to generate cubes? How easy is it for someone to knock out the 15 cubes? So once that is done, so we'll have plenty of content, one. Two, we'll have more real world experience, which we don't have a lot of that now because NetQube is so young. Then we will follow through with the advertising co-op plans, which is to be in whether it's Yahoo and Bing or Google AdWords. And so we still have the traffic agency on retainer, and they're just waiting for us. And of course, we're waiting for the things I just mentioned. Okay, so that's going to go full steam ahead.
Are you completely up to date on your tickets?
Nope, I'm in the lab. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to try to get up to date or as close as I possibly can, but I've been in the lab.
Okay.
So if you have a ticket that's not been responded to, just bear with me, okay? Thank you for your patience.
Time is up.
That's it. Okay, let's give away. YouTube giveaway. Okay, so here's what we're doing on this giveaway. We had one of our folks that joined earlier on, but there was some type of issue. It was not their fault, and they did not get into the system so that I could place them as early as they should have gotten into the system. One, and then so I want to be fair to them because they joined very early on. And then I just had a new person that came aboard recently that I'm going to place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give fictitious names here. I'm going to place John, my guy who came aboard very early on, into someone's matrix. And I'm going to also place with John, Sue, fictitious name. All right. So that way John didn't get the benefit of maybe some spill he may have gotten had he been placed earlier on. So essentially what I'm going to wind up doing here is placing what's going to amount to be 2 people in someone's matrix. I don't know who that someone is going to be. All right. So when we send out emails about this, take advantage. When we say, hey, we're going to do a YouTube giveaway and here's what you need to do to qualify, take advantage. Now, what we did is we sent out a training video today, and we said all you got to do is you got to be a Digi Millionaire member, be on the webinar, and like the video and leave some sterling comments. All right, even if you didn't watch the full video, leave some sterling comments. You know, great video, fantastic training, da 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 da, whatever. Okay. All right. So I'm taking that video, and everyone that made a comment is this third-party system is going to pick out somebody, and that's going to be our winner if they're on the webinar. So here we go. Let's see who it is. Let's see who it is. Jim Burrow. Jim Burrow. Is Jim here?
Oh, I don't know.
Yep. Jim is here. Hey, Jim, do me a favor. Send me a ticket, buddy, and tell me what your username is. I happen to know Jim. Doggone it. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Chris. I don't know if Dr. Chris is here or not.
Yeah. Oh.
And Jim, Jim is in Dr. Chris's matrix. All right. Jim was spilled in Dr. Chris' matrix. So, and I think Jim's first level is full. I think. So I'm going to add one person into Jim's matrix that's going to impact somebody else in Jim's matrix because his first level is full. And Jim is in Dr. Chris's matrix, so that's going to impact Dr. Chris. Now, listen. Whenever we do these YouTube giveaways, and I can't, you know, that's not going to be every webinar we do, but whenever we give a YouTube giveaway, take advantage of it because Dr. Chris, for instance, we've done 3 YouTube giveaways, I think, where we place someone in someone's matrix. And it's all by this random winner, but everyone that we've placed happened to be in Dr. Chris's matrix because he was one of the first people that came aboard. And so he, you know, has a really prime position. So take advantage of those YouTube giveaways when we send out something because it may not only impact you, it may also impact other folks in your matrix. Congratulations, Jim. Proud of you, buddy. Congratulations. By the way, you can find Jim on YouTube. I think, was that, that might have been another Jim. Was that Jim Burrow or was that Jim Rosen? Give me a moment. Let me see if Jim is here. Jim Burrow, do you have any YouTube videos or am I thinking of Jim Rosen? Might be thinking of Jim Rosen. All right. So we'll take care of Jim. Hey, Jim, it may take, I've got to find you in the matrix to do those placements. Okay, buddy? And I'm still learning about the matrix. By the way, anything that we send out via YouTube is free game for you if you know how to grab that video and you know how to load it up on your own YouTube channel, even if you're not in a matrix. All right? That's Jim Rosen I was thinking of. Okay. By the way, for our folks, hey, do me a favor. Go to YouTube, put in NetQube, look for, this is all optional and we're finished. Look for Jim Rosen. Okay. So here's Jim right here. Look, you know, where it has the YouTube channel. Look for Jim Rosen. Look for Daniel Tejada. I hope I'm saying that right. Forgive me, Danielle. Look for Christopher Foster. Hey, anybody else have a YouTube channel? Put it in your questions box. Tell me what your YouTube. If you've got a YouTube channel, you've already started uploading some NetQube content. I don't care if you're in our matrix or not. If you've got a YouTube channel, give me the name of your channel in the questions box. Your Dream Matters. Oh, that's Paul. Look for Your Dream Matters. That's Paul. Anybody else? Learners to earners. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, you're kicking butt. You got a lot of content out there. Learners to earners. Gale Ventures. Okay, now someone was asking about us having some type of group, like a Facebook group or what have you, or what have. Whenever we have that, one of the things that we're going to want to do is that people that are part of our following, not even if they're not in our matrix, if they're part of our following, we're going to do stuff like this where we say, hey, go to this person's YouTube channel, like it, leave some sterling comments. Like Daniel's, leave some sterling comments. All right. And the reason that's going to be important is because we want to help people get more exposure. The more comments, the more chatter, the more conversation, the more people that have liked a video, the more people that have commented on the video, the more that particular video starts to rank. So, for instance, you're going to see here, I'm going to show you something. This is all optional, by the way. All right, we're really finished. All right, you're going to see here. All right, this particular video is at the top of the page. I can tell you today, I got somebody who I don't know, saw a video, got in touch with me, said I want to join you, all because we put some video content out there. We'll show you how to leverage other people's content if you're not the content creator. Okay. Right here, Christopher Cristiamo out of the UK is leveraging some of our content. The reason you'd want to do that, however, is that if you click on here, by the way, let's give me a moment. I'm going to sign in so I can leave some sterling comments for him. Bear with me. Let's do all right. So I said, man, that's some kick butt training. Thanks for your leadership. Now, I want you to notice something real quickly. This is all optional. This is all optional. Not doing any more Q&A, but this is all optional, okay? I want you to notice something. When I cut content, I never say my name. Why? Because we always build with a larger following in mind. I know that most people are not good at content creation. And that doesn't mean that Christopher Cristiamos would like to go by. Doesn't mean he's not good at content creation. But this is what I love to do. All right? This is what I do. This is what I spent all day doing today. This is what I spent yesterday. This is what I spent Sunday doing. This is what I'm going to spend tomorrow doing. I'm creating content, creating content, creating content. But me not putting my name on the content means that you can leverage this content. And since I don't have my name, nobody knows how to get to me via Facebook. If I said my name, which is what most marketers do, most marketers would be putting their name and what have you, so that when people ran across their content, people would join them. Now, on my channel, I've got my information. But if you were to take my content, and I'm telling you, anything I ever send out via YouTube is free game. Now, there is some content that won't be free game that we'll have just in Digi Millionaires, our Digi labs that we do specifically for our Digi Millionaires. That content we don't put on YouTube. You are not free to use that content in any of your marketing or promotional. But if I send out an email, for instance, and it's got a YouTube link, no, you don't have to ask me. I can take that and I can load it up to my own site. Now, why would you want to go through and give some nice comments or what have you? One, because you're sowing seeds. You want to reap a reward. You got to sow the right seeds. All right. But Cristiano might be in your matrix. In your back office, you're going to see the contact information of only the people that you personally enroll. But Cristiano may be in your matrix, as an example, by us going and saying, man, that's some kick butt content. People who don't know me, don't know what I'm saying to you now. They don't know the voice that they're hearing on this video. If this is the first video they've seen, they may think this is Cristiano. He's got his link here. They join him in NetQube. But what if he's in your matrix? So here are those names again and those channels again. Jim Rosen. Subscribe to his channel. Like videos. Leave a sterling comment. Danielle, Christopher Foster, Your Dream Matters, Learner to Earners. I've seen Learner to Earners quite a bit. Go back here. And see, what we want to do is we want to get our audience dominating YouTube and others. There's Cristiano there. There's mine there. There's mine there. There's Jim Rosen there. There's Danielle here. Let's see if I made a comment on Jim's.
A little backdrop anyway.
Hey, Jim,
Okay.
if you're out here, you've disabled comments on your video, I would have you to enable comments, buddy. You want comments. The more comments, even if you get somebody who has a negative comment, you can always, get rid of that negative comment if you want to. But the more comments you have, the more you're going to rank your videos. Okay? The more comments you have, the more your videos are going to rank. Here's Learners to Earners right here.
Approach.
Awesome training. Keep it coming. Appreciate your leadership. Let me comment there. Let me like there. Let me subscribe here. So like it, subscribe, comment. I've seen a number of yours. You've got quite a few of these videos out there. Good for you. Again, feel free. What Learners to Earners did is they took some of our content and they know how to do this in terms of editing and what have you, and they broke it down into training parts. Pretty cool. There's Learners to Earners again there. There's Danielle there.
And we can get all of this.
Now see, this is kick butt. This is what I'm talking about. You want to build an organization that lasts. You got to plant the right seeds. Look at what Cristiano did. Cristiano, we talked about this the other night. Cristiano went to Danielle's video, and I don't know if they're in each other's matrices or not. They probably aren't, okay? And look at what he did. Great video, very informative. Thank you. Cristiano, that's how you do it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, the other thing that's going to be important here, as we start to, let's say, leverage YouTube or what have you, what's going to happen? Let me tell you what tends to happen in a network marketing company is you'll have a team that will kind of take the lead. And even if you're not on their team, a lot of what they do will start to drive the culture of that particular marketing company. Okay. So I want you to think about, and again, this is all optional. This is the when we used to do offline presentations. This would be like after the meeting is over, and we went out. You know how you did this in Amway, right? You went out to the IHOP, or you went out to the Waffle House, or you went out to the and you just kind of dropped some more training nuggets, and oftentimes you got more. One of my mentors called it the meeting after the meeting. He would say you get more in the meeting after the meeting than you did in the meeting. Okay. All right. Here's the culture that we want to develop. The culture that we want to develop, all right, is as everyone does their minimum cube activity. What's that? That's 15 cubes a month. Now, what does that mean? Anyone in your matrix that does the minimum cube activity, you can count on at least $15 a month. You will not see that in a traditional network marketing company. Somebody on your 5th level that's on the $100 a month auto ship, you're making 3%, 4%, maybe 5%. You might make $4 or $5. Companies that do binaries, and there's a reason. I used to be an owner of a network marketing company. There's a reason companies do binaries, because a lot of that volume never gets paid out on, because a lot of people can't balance the left and the right and what have you. Okay. So you can have a lot of volume, but not make any money because you're not building the other side. A 3x10 matrix is a very fair compensation plan for Joe and Susie average. What NetQube has done by putting in those kick butt bonuses and making them fairly easily attainable for the Joe and Susie star and superstar is help them generate some powerful residual income by having a team of folks that do their minimums. All right, so we want this to be our culture, whether you're in our matrix or not. If you're part of our following, we want this to be our culture. Okay, so everyone does the minimum cube activity. Okay, the other part of our culture is we want to use or leverage as many of the offers in NetQube as possible. In other words, when they start to load up the content, let's go through and let's see those things that we're interested in, where we're already spending money. Is there a way that I can divert the money I'm already spending? And I'm not talking about spending more money. I'm not talking about in traditional network marketing companies, there is they have to inflate the price of the product because of the compensation plan. All right, I'm talking about things you're already doing that's not going to cost you any more money. You might even save some money. Let's divert that to going through the advertisers that have a connection with NetQube. The more those advertisers are seeing that their relationship with NetQube is working, the more advertisers we're going to have, the more those advertisers are going to be willing to spend via NetQube, the more money NetQube's going to make, the more money that we are going to make. So we're going to want to leverage as many of these offers in NetQube as possible. Okay. Number 3, we are going to want to, as we start to generate our revenue, we're going to want folks to develop a Digi budget and a marketing budget. All right, now I'm saying Digi, obviously from a Digi Millionaire perspective, but again, in the financial pods, there are going to be other financial systems there, even other Digi systems. So I know, for instance, there's going to be a Follow Me futures trading system. In time, that may be something that you also would be interested in, so you're diversifying. You don't have everything in Digi. Okay? All right. So, for instance, what we showed tonight and what we will show in any time we do any type of presentation about NetQube, we are going to talk about this. Hey, let's get to the Q1. You're generating $1,650, let's say. Let's take half of that and apply that to your family's budget. We want that to become a culture. Let's take, now of the other half, and some of you have heard this before, right? Take half and build your Digi portfolio. And then with that last portion, invest that into marketing. So right now, with YouTube here, for instance, with YouTube, this is organic YouTube traffic. I'm not paying to be here. monetarily. I am paying for time. All right. It's costing me time. So there's no traffic that's really free traffic. It's either going to cost you time or it's going to cost you money. Okay. But ultimately, what we're going to ultimately do is probably have some YouTube paid traffic. And this might be where some of our advertising co-op money comes in, where there's a rotator. Okay. Where someone, they hear about NetQube, and they come and they put in NetQube, and over here off to the side, there's some paid advertising there. And they click on that, you know, whatever the promotional thing is. You know, they've heard about NetQube from a number of sources. They haven't made a commitment yet. They click on that ad. All right. They hear whatever it is that's being promoted, and now maybe they join as a result. And if you're in our traffic rotator, maybe that person joins you, as an example. Okay. All right. The point is, whether we're talking about email marketing, text message marketing, ads on Facebook, Instagram, what have you, ultimately, the people that get to the $10,000 and the $50,000 and $100,000 a month in marketing don't do it just with organic, quote unquote, free traffic. They do it because they have a marketing budget. So we want to create a culture where people are looking to make money, yes, but with the money they're making, they are applying it, a portion of it, to their family's budget. They're taking some of it and doing some type of investing, while we would love for them to be a part of Digi Millionaires and building their Digi portfolio. Other crypto offers are going to come to play, other Digi offers, other trading offers, other financial-based offers, what have you, so they can be diversified. Okay. By the way, here's the advantage of the role that we're playing with the company as it relates to the financial pod. And again, this is all optional. All right, all optional. I'm not doing any more Q&A. All optional here. Give me some extra nuggets. The advantage is, what they've asked me to do is, when an offer comes across their desk, they shoot it over to me. And then I will start a vetting process. Okay. In the past 3 weeks, we've already decided that at least 2 offers were not going to be good offers for NetQube. Okay. At some point, there's going to be offers that are going to be great for NetQube. We would have vetted it. If it's, let's say we would have spoken with either the owner or the developer or what have you, maybe even their attorneys, so on and so forth, to fully understand what's going on. But one of the things that we are going to do, when that offer comes to NetQube, I will understand that offer. And guess what we'll do? We'll put together some content that could also be used promotionally. NetQube may use it throughout the entire NetQube model. We'll make sure it's compliant and NetQube signs off on it. But we'll definitely make sure that our Digi Millionaires have that promotional content, so that you will have more and more content that even if you're not a part of the Futures Follow Me system, as an example, we'll develop some content for it. Now, NetQube has a marketing team that will develop content, but do they necessarily know the financial end like I do? I've been immersed in the financial end since I first got in this industry. So who better to be able to help devise some of that content than someone that has spoken with the owners, perhaps spoken with the attorneys, then pitched them back to NetQube to let them do all their final negotiations or what have you, so on and so forth. All right. So by following us, whether you're a part of our matrix or not, especially if you're part of Digi Millionaires, because a lot of that type of content we're going to put in Digi Millionaires, okay, as a benefit of a person being a Digi Millionaire with us. You're going to have access to content that most people, even in NetQube, may not necessarily have. Okay. All right. And again, that whether you're in our matrix or not. All right. That's one of the things that we'll be doing as it relates to Digi Millionaires. So we're going to create this culture. We're going to be constantly adding new content to YouTube. Feel free to leverage that content. If you don't know how to do that, we'll make sure ultimately that you know how to do that, so you can have your own YouTube channel. And then I'll let the Facebook dudes The Pocket Funnel dudes do more with Facebook because that's more of their expertise than mine. But we'll help you understand YouTube. Go on if you have a YouTube channel and you know how to grab content. Go on and start putting up some good quality content. In time, maybe you'll do some of your own. Great. Or you can leverage other people's content. Great. Okay. Anything that I have is free game. All right. Love you guys and guyettes. This has been recorded. We'll get it loaded. Give us a day. Tomorrow, maybe Thursday, we'll have it out. Bear with me on the support tickets. I am going to schedule some time tomorrow specifically to start knocking out some of those support tickets. So if you have support tickets in, we'll get those done. Jim Burrow, congratulations. The placements will take place probably tomorrow for you. I'm going to call it a night, because I've been at it all day. Love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Let's get you to Digi, my gosh, millionaire status. Good night, everyone.